ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ॐ परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रुतिमात्रे नमः। समस्त ब्रह्म विद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः। वेदव्यास वैशम्पायन याज्ञवल्क्य आद्य शंकराद गुरुभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। समस्त गुरूणां देवतानां परब्रह्मणः श्रुतिमातो अनुग्रहेण उपनिषदुक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्य बोधस्य अस्मिन् क्षणे एव सिद्ध्यर्थं सनातनधर्मस्य वैदिकसंस्कृतेः पुनरुत्थान पुनर्जागरण विश्वव्याप्त्यर्थं विश्वशांति कल्याण एकदा प्राप्त्यर्थं समस्त साधक भक्त उपासक सनातन धर्म सेवकानां रक्षकाणां च समस्त विघ्न निवारण शत्रु निर्मूलन द्वारा समस्त शक्तीनां संपदानां अवाप्ति द्वारा निर्विघ्न विजय प्राप्त्यर्थं श्री तैत्तिरीय उपनिषदः पारायणं श्री आदिशंकर भाष्य समेत अध्ययनं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। आदौ पारायणं to do the Sadachara Pradarshanam, the last portion of Bhruguvalli for our chanting today. Just bring your mind with full focus, devotion, try as best as possible. This is how day in and day out for many lives. When we do that, all our non-positive things go away from us, then only the divine thought samskaras become stronger to help us in our dhyana ityadi. ॐ अथ भृगुवल्ली शान्तिमन्त्रः। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ न कञ्चन वसतौ प्रत्याचक्षीत तद्व्रतं तस्मात् यया कया च विदया बहुवन्नं प्राप्नुयात्। आराध्यस्मा अन्नमित्याचक्षते एतद्वै मुखतो अन्नगं राद्धं मुखतोऽस्मा अन्नगं राध्यते एतद्वै मध्यतो अन्नगं राद्धं मध्यतोऽस्मा अन्नगं राध्यते एतद्वा अन्ततो अन्नगं राद्धं अन्ततोऽस्मा अन्नगं राध्यते य एवं वेद क्षेम इति वाचे योगक्षेम इति प्राणापानयोः कर्मेति हस्तयोः गतिरिति पादयोः विमुक्तिरिति पायौ इति मानुषी समाज्ञाः अथ दैवीः तृप्तिरिति वृष्टौ बलमिति विद्युते यश इति पशुषु ज्योतिरिति नक्षत्रेषु प्रजातिरमृतमानन्द इत्युपस्थे सर्वमित्याकाशे तत्प्रतिष्ठेत्युपासीत प्रतिष्ठावान् भवते तन्मह इत्युपासीत महान् भवति तन्मन इत्युपासीत मानवान् भवति तन्नम इत्युपासीत नम्यन्ते स्मै कामाः तद्ब्रह्मेत्युपासीत ब्रह्मवान् भवते तद्ब्रह्मणः परिमर इत्युपासीत पर्येण म्रियन्ते द्विषन्तः सपत्नाः पर्ये प्रिया भ्रातृव्याः स यश्चायं पुरुषे यश्चासावादित्ये स एकः स य एवंविद अस्माल्लोकात् प्रेत्य एतमन्नमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रम्य एतं प्राणमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रम्य एतं मनोमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रम्य एतं विज्ञानमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रम्य एतमानन्दमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रम्य इमान् लोकान् कामान्नि कामरूप्यनुसञ्चरन् एतत्सामगायन्नास्ते हा भूहा भूहा वो अहमन्नमहमन्नमहमन्नम् अहमन्नादो अहमन्नादो अहमन्नादः अहग्गश्लोककृदहग्गश्लोककृदहग्गश्लोककृत् अहमस्मि प्रथमजारुतास्य पूर्वं देवेभ्यो अमृतस्य न भायि यो मा ददाति स इदेव मा वाह अहमन्नमन्नमदन्तमाद्मि अहं विश्वं भुवनमभ्यभवाम सुवर्णज्योतिः य एवं वेद इत्युपनिषदा ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ अथ कृष्णयजुर्वेदान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय उपनिषद ॐ यस्माज्जातं जगत्सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रलीयते येनेदं धार्यते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं तैत्तिरीयकसारस्य मयाचार्यप्रसादतः विस्पष्टार्थरचीनां हि व्याख्येयं सम्प्रणीयते शान्तिमन्त्रः ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मावादिशं ऋतमवादिशं सत्यमवादिशं तन्मामावीत तद्वक्तारमावीत आवीन्माम् आवीद्वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ अथ द्वितीया ब्रह्मानन्दवल्ली शान्तिमन्त्रः ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्तिः 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 अथ प्रथमोऽनुवाकः ॐ ब्रह्मविदा आप्नोति परं तदेशाभ्युक्ता सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तं ब्रह्म यो वेद निहितं गुहायां परमे व्योमन् सोऽश्नुते सर्वान् कामान् सः ब्रह्मणा विपश्चितेति तस्माद्वा एतस्मादात्मन आकाशः सम्भूतः आकाशाद्वायुः वायोस्तेजः तेजस आपः अद्भ्यः पृथिवी पृथिव्या ओषधयः ओषधीभ्योऽन्नम् अन्नात् पुरुषः स वा एष पुरुषोऽन्नरसमयः तस्येदमेव शिरः अयं दक्षिणपक्षः अयमुत्तरपक्षः अयमात्मा इदं बुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा तदप्येष श्लोको भवति ॐ शान्तिः 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 Salutations to Vedavyasa, Vaishambhayana, Agnivalkya, Adi Shankara. Salutations to all our gurus. Salutations to Shruti Mata and to Parabrahma, to all Brahma Vidya, Acharya, Rishi and Muni. Our everyday efforts throughout the day are the mind intellect which is falling into the worldliness because of its habits, because of its earlier forces of asanas. We are trying to mold that mind toward the Lord or the truth or the reality or the Parabrahma or Atma. Again and again it will slip. If you give a chance, it will be getting flooded only. So this continuousness, regularity, sincerity always keeps us in touch. At the same time, through various other upasanas, when we make our upadhis fit, then only all this jnanam stays with us. We are able to use that jnanam. That using of that jnanam takes us on to the deep sadhanas, deep meditational sittings. In those deep sittings of meditation only, we just transcend all the impediments of misunderstandings, wrong notions, we can reach out to the self. And it is a long, long process of how many lives we don't know. It depends on not only our sincere efforts, but depends on Ishvara Guru Krupa. Not only on that, it depends on how much amount of workout we have to do of all the things which we have done in the past. So, having all these things in the mind, whenever mood is in inspiration, let us do maximum of sadhana. Whenever the mood is not there, still we try to do at least minimum so that we are not totally carried away by the powerful Maya, the powerful mind, the powerful world. These three are friends together. Not only mind, all the upadhis. The lower upadhis of Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya. Only one resource you and I have are the Vijnanamaya Kosha. The Vijnanamaya only, one side it should have Shraddha in Shastra and study, another side it should have Shraddha in Paramatma Tattva, third side it has to be very powerful, fourth it has to control Mana Indriya Deha, and fifth it should inspire itself and the sadhana continuously. This is how a human being understands how the sadhana to be done. Slowly he does it. And we are now into this vicharana, the marga, the contemplative path of discovering our eternal existing Brahma Tattva. The second sarga or second Valli named itself as the Brahmananda Valli. So, through the Brahma Vichara, through the Brahma Vidya, through the Brahma Darshana, through the Brahma Prapti, we are given the Param, that is Brahma Ananda. And it is a vigorous, rigorous, nirantara exercise. Even though we are doing intellectually the exercise, even though on the seat of meditation we are trying, still when it has to happen, then only it will happen. We have to keep on doing it. There will be so many of unsaid obstacles from so many sources, and we have to have infinite patience, infinite faith, infinite prayers to God, Guru, and Shruti Mata, and continuous efforts from our side. And we have to find in ourselves those ingredients which will help us to be on the path consistently in spite of any inabilities or any difficulties or any obstructions. We have to find some things in us. Whether you call it that is the commitment that I must know the truth, maybe you call it as a jignasa that I must understand what exactly said by Shastra, whether you call it as mumuksha that enough of living the life of limitations, bondages, I want to come out. कुछ भी हो, कुछ ऐसी चीज अंदर सीखें, अंदर निर्माण करें जो निरंतर हमको प्रेरित करता है इस अति कठिन अक्षर से धारा वाले मार्ग में रहने के लिए. You know, this is already said. We have seen Katha Upanishad, it is the razor's edges path. So, to be consistent on this path, the tremendous amount of the inexplicable stamina is required. We have to find the means to generate that and then keep on. That's why very rare are the people who are very deep and detailed in the Vedantic Vichara of Brahma Tattva. Others try to take the simple paths like that of Bhakti and all. But even in Bhakti, if that Bhajaniya Paramatma is not understood as Parabrahma with these Lakshanas, that Bhakti also will not be complete. They may get Bhukti but not the Mukti, by the way. So, Brahma Vidapnoti Param. I don't know how many times we repeated this in the class, and each of you in your own home to understand convincingly that the Paraprapti should be the Laksham and that is obtained only through Brahma Vidya. And then for making us obtain that Brahma, which is ever permanent, ever there, the Lakshanas of the Brahma are told. Tadesha Vyukta Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Now, on this sentence, we are from last couple of days dwelling with the help of Bhagavan Adi Shankara's Bhashya. Each of the word have the power and ability, if we contemplate, to take us beyond the familiar, normal worlds of Jagra Sapna Sushupti or the Jiva Bhava or the subtle gross causal, and it is having the capacity to take us beyond. Then, how using these three words that we have to reach to the experience of one without second Brahman, which is called as Param, after which none of the limitations are there. Therefore, to fulfill these limitations, the work outside through the desires, that samsara also is not there. How to do that? The exercise is given here by Sri Adi Shankara of contemplation. So in that Satyam Brahma we have seen unambiguously. First of all, these three are not the Vivarana, not the description. They are the indicators, they are the Lakshana, inasmuch Satyam alone is Brahman, Brahman alone is Satyam. They are one without second. Two words are used. Sugar is sweet. Two words are used, but sweet without sugar cannot be. Sugar, if it is, it has to be sweet. How that relation, if you can contemplatively catch, you will get a beautiful idea. Same are these three words used for Brahman. Then, what is the definition of each of them? What is the explanation of each of them? And each of them tell us about Brahma. How? Problem with Brahman is it is only experiential, and it cannot be shown through any of the indriyas. Like it is this vastu, that vastu. And we are habituated to see through indriyas and believe, or at least to make an emotion and accept, or at least a concept at the intellect. So the Brahman is neither intellect's concept, nor emotional mind, nor perception of the senses. Then this is the only way about which we, through the contemplative mode, by transcending everything which is other than Brahman, we reach out to it. First, intellectual understanding. Never intellectual understanding gives satisfaction. Even the Vedanta, just like anywhere in the world. You have to do it and get it here also. After intellectual comprehension, understanding, dhyana avastha mein, we by rejecting all which are contrary to the Brahma Lakshanas, we reach to the Brahma Swarupa. So the first pointer given to us is Satyam Brahma. So by saying the Brahman as Satyam, what is said? Satyam Brahmahiti Brahma Vikarat Vinivartayati. This is the Mahavakya regarding Satyam Brahma we have to keep in mind. Then we are discussing Jnanam Brahma. Which Jnanam? Is this Jnanam Brahma is a Jnana Kartu Jnanam? Or is it Jnanam Brahma is a Vritti Jnanam? Or it is a Jnanam Brahma is Triputi Jnanam? Or it is Shuddha Gnapti Swarupa. Options are open all. So through all these discussions, Sri Adi Shankara Bhagavan is proving that this Jnanam Brahma has to be Gnapti Matra. In any other case of taking the Jnanam as other than Gnapti, you take it as Jnana Kartru or the Triputi Yukta, etc. Then the other two Lakshanas of Brahman called are Satyam and Anantam are not fulfilled. Therefore, Brahman has to be Satyam also, Anantam also, along with Jnanam. If that has to be, the Jnana Shabda should mean only Shuddha Gnapti Swarupa. And we want that Gnapti Swarupa Jnana Brahma, not the other two, that which is not Satyam. What is use of that? Asatya. आपको उसका इंटेलेक्चुअल एनालिसिस रहेगा, लेकिन you will never reach to that because it is asatya. And if it is not Anantam, you are getting that beautiful Jnana Brahma, but it is not Anantam, it is Santam. फिर वो गायब हो गया हो. It will end, na? Therefore, the Gnapti Swarupa Brahma should be Satyam, then only we can reach him. Should be Anantam, then only it will remain with us eternally. Then only we call it as Paraprapti, not otherwise. So, for that, the beautiful discussion, contemplation, analysis is given by which, by rejecting every mode of means of source of Jnanam, by rejecting all those, we are reaching to the Gnapti Swarupa, Avabodha Swarupa, Bhava Swarupa. Bhava means existing consciousness. Gnapti means consciousness. Avabodha means awareness. Those three words are not three different meanings, but in different contexts, different gurus use those three. Bhagavan brought all the three at one place for us, Adi Shankara. So Jnanam, Brahma, Jnanam, Gnapti, Avabodha. Then it is called Bhava Sadhana. Bhava Sadhana means that which is there, it only. It has not got changed into. It is not got modified into, it is not concretized into, it is in its own abstract form. Like every gold is in its abstract form. Then you make it as biscuits and all, or sometime like the rods, they are concrete form. But even that gold also is not used. It has to be made into plates, etc. If they have to be used in some astronomical places, making satellites and all. And if you want to wear them and show off that we are rich, they have to be concretized into various abharanas. So the jnapti is the pure gold is abstract. On that, the imposition of the ornaments are done. And this gold, wherever in the world, is same only in its own Swarupa Lakshana. In the same way, the Jnanam Brahma is Jnapti Swarupa is equal to Bhava Sadhana is equal to, it is pure abstract Jnapti. In this way only can be talked, no other way it can be talked. What can be done is, any other way when the Jnapti is talked, through logic that can be rejected, then we reach to the Jnapti. And all this should happen on the seat of contemplation within ourselves. So Satyam Brahma means that which never gets modified is Brahma. Therefore, what is that which never gets modified? We have to contemplate and reach to. It's an intellectual exercise of neti, 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 neti. All modifying is not Brahma, not Brahma, it is rejected. Then something non modified we reach to, that cannot be rejected. That's as Brahma. Inevitably, that has to be experienced subjectively as I, in such a way that the experiencer experienced experiencing. That Triputi also is not there. This being unfamiliar to us, and we are familiar with Triputi of Gnata Gnanam name only, it becomes difficult for us to accept the presence of that self which is beyond the Triputi. हमको हमेशा बिना वस्तु के जाने हम नहीं रह सकते हैं, और ये तीनों के बीच में डिफरेंस के बिना जिन्हें नहीं दिखता. तीनों क्या है? ज्ञाता ज्ञानम ज्ञेयम, एक्सपीरियंसर एक्सपीरियंसड एंड एक्सपीरियंसिंग. वी आर सो मच इनटू इट दैट इट इज इम्पॉसिबल टू बी समथिंग बियॉन्ड दैट, ऐसा लगता है. बट दैट इज विच इज बियॉन्ड दिस थ्री अलोन इज एक्चुअल रियलिटी. I am telling you every day this word, just like the people think they can't live without the cigar, without the drink, that they are addicted to them so much, whereas when they are given up, they are more healthy, more active, more self respect in society. Every way it is benefit only. But all those great life of benefit, all of them are negated by one weak thought that I cannot live without it, called as addiction. In the same way, the infinite self, we can experience and feel that freedom and liberation, yet we don't try for that nor even believe in it, because of we are addicted to the Triputi, addicted to the Upadhis, addicted to the Samsara. Those addictions in technical word are called as Vasanas and Avidya. Avidya makes you not able to know about it. Even if you know it, the Vasana will never allow you to take that side. Like the drugs, drinks, cigars cause this type of harm. He doesn't know it. It is avidya. Somehow he got counseling from somebody. Avidya replaced by vidya. Yet the vasanas are there, which will again and again take him for that type of drinks, drugs only. In the same way, we are coming regularly to the classes in which we are trying to replace the avidya. Why the vidya? About Brahma, its Lakshana and all. But still, we will not pursue the Brahma Vidya and meditation seat to experience till the force of the vasanas, the addictions go away. And we have to patiently do this operation with full faith in the Shastras and the goal indicated by the Shastra and all the great Mahatmas who reached it. Remembering them, taking the inspiration from them, and having faith in Shastra and all, we have to go on doing. कब मिलेगा नहीं पता, करते रहना करते रहना करते रहना. Okay, now the Jnanam Brahma analysis we started. So after saying this Jnapti Swarupa, then Avabodha Matra and also Bhava Sadhana, then while explaining it, so the Siddhanti quoted the Shruti Vakya of यो वै भूमा तत्सुखम नाल्पे सुखमस्ति यत्र यत्र न अन्यत् विजानाति सह भूमा अथ यत्र अन्यत् विजानाति तदल्पम. And we have seen that taking this the question asked by the Purvapakshis, anyad na vijanati swam vijanati chet. What is the whole thing here? We are repeating it every day. Jnana kartrutva, you want to bring in the Jnana Brahma. Point is what? When the Shuddha Jnapti Swarupa Jnana Brahma becomes Karta, a Karta is a Karta when a Karaka is added to him. When the Karaka added it to it, it is not as original. Therefore, it got modified. Therefore, it doesn't fulfill the first condition of Satya. Brahman has to be Satya, means Avikari. Jnapti Brahma, when he becomes Jnana Brahma, and in that he will have to become Jnana Kartru. In that, the Satyata or the non-modification goes away. So we don't talk of that Brahman of Jnanam which is modifiable. Because Brahman is Satyam also. Okay. Then, to answer this point of this Purva Pakshi, the Guru Maharaj said, Bhuma Swarupa Jnapanartham, this sentence. Yatra na anyat pashyati na anyat vijanati. It doesn't mean that swam pashyati, swam vijanati. Na anyat pashyati na vijanati is what? Bhuma is such a beautiful one without second, all pervading infinite self, that there is nothing other than for it even to recognize. So the rejection of Dvaita is the purpose of this sentence. Not is the sentence purpose as you are thinking that the Bhuma doesn't know other, but it can know itself. So mainly by telling the reference to context, this point of the Purvapakshi is rejected. लक्षण को तुम मन में रख, क्या बोलने के लिए आया हो श्रुति वहां, तुम क्या इमेजिन कर रहे हो. But still it is not a complete answer. You will have to satisfy the Purvapakshi. Then the second point raised was, so Atmani Bheda Abhavat. Be careful about it. Yourself, you cannot have Bheda in that. There are two selves होते हैं क्या? Chota self, bada self. You can never have the Bheda in one homogeneous self. Therefore, how can it be dichotomized into Jnata and Neyam? It cannot be differentiated. Therefore, it has to be Jnapti Swarupa only. It cannot be Jnana Kartru Vala. So, Atmanicha Bheda Abhavat Vijnana Anupattihi. Okay. Means what? If you have to have Vijnanam, you should have the Bhedam, that something is Gneya, another is Jnata. Tabi Jakar, the Vritti Jnanam is possible. Khanda Jnanam is possible. But Atma में भेद भाव नहीं है, भेद का अभाव है, इसलिए it is not possible to know the self. Remember, what's the problem? We are knowing the world through vrittis as other than self. Same thing we are trying to do with the Brahman also, trying to know it through vritti as something other than the self. Possible problem क्या है? Self is Brahman, Brahman is self, which cannot be objectified nor divided, nor we can say that we are knowing Brahman. Same thing we saw in Kena Upanishad also. Yadi manya se suvedaiti, then dabhramevapi nunam tvametta brahmana rupam yadasya tum yadasya deveshu atanum imamsamevate. So if you think that you have known the self, you have not known it. Because the self is not an object of knowledge. Self is not an object of a vritti. Self is not other than me. The Jnana Kartrutvam or the Jnana Kriya is possible where a Jnata is there separate from the Gneyam, a Gneya is there separate from the Jnata, and the medium is there called as Vritti. Like the window, I am there. So the Jnana of the window is possible to me when there is something other than me, the window. I am other than the window. Window is other than me, I am other than the window, then in between the vrittis are required. That vrittis of chitta have to travel through the eye and gather the form of that, what I say, window. Then that window thought is illumined by my own conscious self in the chitta. Then there is the knower me and the known window. These two are there. But in the pure Jnapti Swarupa self, it is undividable. There is no Jnaya and Jnanata differentiation. Therefore, there is no Jnana Kartrutva. Means what? It is just being consciousness only. Consciousness never became the knower, known, and the connection between them as the knowledge. Known is the object, knower is the subject. Then the knowledge is the vritti, the medium with which the known is known by the knower. The Jnati Swarupa of the Atma, the Jnanam Brahma of the Atma, the Jnanam of the Brahma or Brahma Jnana or Jnana Swarupi Brahma is not this type of object, nor is other than me, nor it is a vritti required for him knowing. You understand? In this way, the Jnayatva, then the Jnanatva, when it is rejected, the Jnatrutva also goes away. But still, who is the one in whose awareness all this was happening? He remains. That is called as Jnapti Swarup. Pure awareness, pure consciousness, undivided, undifferentiated consciousness or awareness. Thought free consciousness. These are the things to be many a times reflected so that we will know what we have to meditate on when we sit for dhyana. Even though it is not an easy thing. पहले तो मन को एकाग्र करना है, फिर ये ज्ञान याद रहना है, फिर उसके ऊपर चिंतन करना है. All long process. But even after trying to do also, immediately that won't come to us because vrittis will push us into the worldliness. That's why take the help of yoga sadhana and remove the vrittis, vritti nirodha karo. Then vritti nirodha अवस्था में अपना स्वरूप में दृष्टा easily अवस्थित हो सकता है. Means I discover myself to be that Brahman which is Jnapti Swarupa. Then I am not the Aham vritti. I am not having sambandha with the Dehadi Upadhi. With that I am not the Jiva. Therefore I am not Baddha or bound by the Upadhi is limited. Then I am not having any sankalpa desire of the mind. I don't need the Deha or Indriyas to function in the world to get some result to make myself complete or infinite. All the samsara goes away. Clear? Then came we saw Ekaha Eva Atma Gneyattvena Jnatruttvena so Vayata Bhavati iti chet. One Atma only is Gneya, one Atma only Jnana. अगर ऐसा होता है तो मानो. उससे पहले और एक बात हुआ. In even if we agree for agreeing sake for formality that the Atma became Gneya Vastu, then who is the Jnata of that? That question always remains. Therefore, the Atma cannot be Gneya Vastu, it cannot be known. It is not required to be known through any of the vrittis. In that, the Jnana, Jnata, Gneya, Vyapara, neither possible nor required. Now see, that subtle self of Satyam Jnanam Anantam is reality on which the entire world of multiplicity projected in such a strong manner that we take this alone as reality. This is how the mind conditioned works. Understand? Like आटे से गूंद कर चपाती बनाना. हम हजारों साल चपाती बनाएंगे as if you can't do anything other than चपाती with the आटा. कंडीशन होता है मन वैसे ही. Those who experiment, they discover newer things. When I was in राजस्थान में एक बार गए थे, वो लोग आटे से या नहीं तरन तारण ने गुरदासपुर. फर्स्ट टाइम when I went to गुरदासपुर, they gave me आटे का चाय. चाय बना के दिए थे. I remember even that hotel, the dhaba also where I was. आटे का चाय, I had चीनी बना के दिए. It's very good. But how many people know that atta can be taken like that also? We get conditioned. So many. Now the people go on researching and do. Nowadays, so how many newer things coming? Like the ghar banana. Only one way with four walls they used to Meghalaya. Now एक के ऊपर एक बिल्डिंग बना रहे हैं, क्या क्या नहीं बना रहे हैं, अब बाप रे, विचार करो तो बहुत संभावनाएं होते हैं. So we get conditioned. Because of the conditioning, beyond conditioning वाला हमको पता नहीं चलता. What is that we are talking about? The pure Brahman, Satyam, Jnanam, Anandam alone is real, but on that these whole things projected, and we are habituated to it this much that we don't even imagine that this other thing is possible. That is why the struggle for the teachers to teach. And not many things, like it's only one life, 10, 12, 15 years when we study, intellectual clarity comes. But the moksha will come only through experience. Experience depends on how intensely you practice what you have learnt to reject the contrary life of samsara, etc. On that only mukti comes. That's why everybody can be philosopher. Everybody cannot be mukta immediately only with the philosophical knowledge. They have to live accordingly to such a long time extent that the opposite thing is totally eliminated from us. लाइक झूठ बोलने वाला कभी कभी सच बोलता होगा, लेकिन उसको पूरा सच्ची जिंदगी भर बोलते बोलते झूठ को पूरा निकालना है. देन ओनली फ्रॉम एन असत्यवादी कैन बी कॉल्ड एज सत्यवादी. है कि नहीं? चोर आल्सो कभी कभी बीच में रोक देता है, बट फिर भी करने लगता है. नो, फ्रॉम द चोरी व्हेन ही वर्क्स हार्ड एंड अर्न मनी हिमसेल्फ गिव्स इन दानम, देन ओनली द चोर फ्रॉम हिज गॉन अवे. सो टू जीव के रूप में देहादि तादात्म्य से जगत को सत्य मानकर जगत के प्रति राग द्वेष से व्यवहार करने वाला सारा चीज जब निकल जाएगा तभी जाकर हमको आत्मानुभूति होएगा. वो निकल के जाने तक हमको ये ब्रह्म का अभ्यास करना है. इन दैट अभ्यास द कॉज ऑफ ऑल दीज थिंग्स कॉल्ड वासना दे गेट एलिमिनेटेड. Then the claiming comes. Now, no doubt, I am that Brahman, which is Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Okay. Now the Prashna is what? The Jnata Gneyam in both forms. If the self becomes, then the Jnata self is knowing the Gneyam self, if we say like that. The point is what? There is no possibility of this because the self or Brahma or Jnanam of Brahma is not Amshavala. Amsha means limbs, Amsha means parts. That which can have the Amsha, limbs or parts, we can say Amshi and Amsha. In this case, if it is parts, one part can be named as Gneyam, another part can be named as Jnata, then you can have the Jnana Vyapara. So Shuddha Gnapti Swarupa, the Guru trying to explain. The Purva Pakshi is trying to pull it into Jnana Kartrusthai. If it is broad, then Anantata and Satyata of the Gnapti goes away. Then the Jnanam is neither Ananta nor Satya. Therefore Jnanam itself is not there. And Satya and Jnana Ananta are the words used for describing Brahman. Brahman also is not there. Then what is there is the world and me and my Indriyas. Through these Indriyas, the objects I can enjoy. By working in between there may be some dukkha, it's okay. So he is trying to that way continue his samsara. Guru Maharaj is trying to explain. So Amshatva is not there in the pure Jnanam of Brahman. Therefore, it cannot be divided into Jnata and Gneyam. Therefore, there is no Jnana Kartrutva. Here, na Yugapad Anamshatvad, nahi Niravayavasya Yugapad Jneya Jnatrutva Upapattihi. That which is Niramshaka, Niramsha means which cannot be divided. Like the water is there. You take anything and try to make the water into pieces. Can you make it? You cannot. Niramshaka hai pani. Itna homogeneous hai, by no means you can divide. Now, conceptually water can be divided as the water of the ocean, water of the river, water of the pond or the lake or the well, talab, nala. No, this is conceptual, but water is water undivided anywhere. तत्व हमेशा निरंशक होता है. Like mud, inherently niramshaka. But you have imagined in that the amshas of the parts, etc. Imagined only. Remember, infinite Paramatma में जीव भी नहीं हो सकता. But जीव का imagination होता है. अगर जीव रियल होता तो you can never come out of jiva bhava. The mere fact that through meditation and sadhana we transcend the jiva bhava and establish in the atma anubhava itself shows that the jiva is not real. If it is real, it doesn't change. Like if the pot is real, it doesn't change. That which changes is not real. That's what we have already seen. यद रूपेण यद निश्चितम तद न व्यभिचरत इति सत्यम यद रूपेण यद निश्चितम तद व्यभिचरत इति अनृतम. Already we discussed it. Now these are very high level to be contemplated, to be remembered sentences. Such person alone goes into the depths of the Vedantic vichara. So nahi niravayavasya yugaphat jnaya jnatruto avapattihi. The pure self or the Brahman or the Jnana Swarupa or Jnapti Swarupa Brahman, which is not in Avayava, in it, therefore, एक ही टाइम और ज्ञेयत्व और ज्ञातृत्व उसमें नहीं हो सकता. हो गया. Now the next crucial thoughts were आत्मना च घटाधिवत विज्ञेयत्वे ज्ञान उपदेश अनर्थक्यम. Is it not? The Tattvamasi Jnana, and in that also Bhagatyaga Lakshana, all this Jnana Upadesha is of no use if the Atma is known like a Ghata. For one reason is, Ghata is so obvious to everyone. If you call everyone and tell that देखो ये दिख रहा है कि ये गड़ा है, ये गड़ा है, they call me pagal only. What are you telling us? We know it already. If it is so obviously knowable thing, such a deep Upadesha of this Guru Maharaj would have not been required. सबको पता चल गया आत्मा. What they says Atma is Upadesh. We are talking about the Nirupadika Shuddha Brahma Atma. It is not so obvious. Else nobody need be told. अनर्थता अनर्थक्यम है. कोई पर्पस ही फर्विल नहीं होता. जरूरत ही नहीं है ब्रह्म का बताने का, उपदेश करने का. If it is known like a ghata. Second important thing is what? When everybody and anybody and you and I know the Ghada, are we becoming mukta? घड़ा को जानने से मुक्ति नहीं मिल रहा ना. सो टू आत्मा को जानने से मुक्ति नहीं मिलता. हाँ, आत्मा स्वरूप में निश्चित होने में मुक्त होता है, मुक्ति होता है. Is it not? And that's so many people, by having intellectual knowledge, they think that they got everything and they become egoistic. They try to dominate others. Those who don't know intellectually, that one. And that fellow also learns intellectually, he defeats this fellow. Both are fighting intellectually, none of them are mukta. Because if you have converted the intellection into experience, you won't find the second self to fight with or argue with. Therefore, the Siddhanta Jnana of the Atma, is it not becoming bringing quarrel between two Siddhanta Atma Jnanis? Therefore, the Atma Jnana is not Siddhanta. Siddhanta means the knowable knowledge. It is Anubhuti. In that Anubhuti is nobody other than me to quarrel or fight. About what to fight again? So, Atmanaha Gatadivatve Jnana Upadesha Anarthakyatu. Atmana cha Gatadivat Vigneyatve Sati Jnana Upadesha Anarthakyam. So, nobody need be told about it also, nor it will give moksha if the Jnanam of Atma is like the pot knowable. Next what? Nahi Gatadivat Prasiddhasya Jnanopadesha Arthvanapi. As just now we said, घट के समान सबको जो वस्तु पता है उससे कोई मोक्ष वाला अर्थ तो नहीं मिलेगा. यहाँ अर्थवान इज मोक्ष. बिकॉज वी आर डूइंग द ब्रह्म चिंतन only to get moksha. That's why Brahmavid apnoti param. Param is supreme. Supreme is liberation. Liberation from all limitations once for all. By knowing Ghada, किसी को भी ऐसा मोक्ष नहीं मिला. So too, if you know the Atma as a Ghada, you won't get moksha. You have to be that Atma which is selfless, one without second, which is Jnapti Swarupa and infinite. Now, the next discussion. Ki, tasmat, another reason. Jnatrutve sati. If the Jnatrutva comes in the Atma Vastu. So far what is done? The Gneyatva is rejected. If it is like a pot knowable, it is Gneya Vastutva. That is rejected. So, by taking the help of the Satyatva of the Brahma, the Gneyatva of the Jnanam is rejected. Now the Jnanatva, Jnatrutva also has to be rejected. Like in our general life, in our transaction with the world, when we are obtaining the Jnanam, in this there is Jnaya Vastu, I am Jnata, and the connection called as Jnanam is happening. The Brahma Jnanam is not like that. The Bhashyakara has to prove. So he is taking the help of the Satyatva of the Brahman, by which the Gneyatva of the Jnanam of the Brahman is rejecting. Means it is a pure Gnapti Sarupa. It cannot be divided into Gneya, Gnata and Jnanam. So the Gneyatva rejected by taking the help of Satyatva. Now the Brahma Jnana mein, us Jnana Sarupi Brahma mein, Jnatrutva also is not there. To remove that Jnatrutva, the Anantatva's help is taken. How? Ki tasmad Jnatrutve sati Anantya Anupapattihi. Remember, Jnata is not Ananta. Why? This Jnata goes on changing with every of the Jnanam or every of the Jnaya Vastu. Therefore, he is broken, he is not continuous, he is not the same. But what is Brahman? It is Anantam. So, if the Jnanam is becoming Jnata, then the Anantatva aspect of Brahma is disturbed. We don't agree to that too. Therefore, by taking the Satya definition of Brahma, the Jnana aspect का ज्ञेयत्व को रिजेक्ट किया है, ज्ञप्ति स्वरूप ब्रह्म का. By taking the help of the Anantata of the Brahma told by Shruti Mata, the Jnatrutva is rejected. When the Jnatrutva नहीं है, ज्ञेयत्व नहीं है, तो फिर ज्ञान भी नहीं होगा. मतलब Brahma is not a vastu of a, like anything whose jnanam can be obtained through the vrittis. Therefore, consciousness is that pure conscious self which is not knower or known or the knowledge. This division जब नहीं हुआ, कब होता है division? When that pure Gnapti Swarupa, be attentive, is not known as it is. From that ignorance only, the Chitta gets manifested. Chitta is nothing but the ignorance. Ignorance is nothing a substantial thing. Like snake is nothing but an ignorance. Ignorance is nothing, a substantial thing. That is why where everything goes away when it is asked a question, अव्यक्त में चला जाते हैं बोलते हैं. और अव्यक्त में जाना मतलब people think that something is understood by saying so. अव्यक्त में चला जाना to say it was never there. You have not seen the truth as it is. Therefore, in that ignorance of seeing the truth, you have projected all that. Now, this has to click only by Ishvara Guru Krupa. When we regularly listen such Vedanta, ek din ek click hota hai. The moment that clicks, we understand all that scene is imagined. When I see the seer, in that seer, there is no seer scene difference. Oh. So, seer scene, no or known differenceless. Pure seer or pure drashta or pure sakshi or pure chaitanya is ayam. That will come to us. But to make it so, we have to free our minds from the vasanas and the value given to the world. It's a maturity. Like how much the children get lost in the marbles. Again, लट्टू वगैरह खेलते हैं ना वो वाला रस्सी से. So much lost. उनको से कि छीन लो. Tell them don't play and all give. They will to become angry and they shout and they do everything. But when they grow themselves to age of 16, 17, 18, the same lattu vattu is there, same marbles are there, but he has grown out of that. Things remain same, we have to grow out. The things are same, but I valued that, and through that some game I valued. Neither they nor the game through them. So too, the upadhis and the game through the upadhi of karma and karma phala, like a child, we are interested in it. We are in the immaturity. Therefore, the higher thing is not understandable to us. So we have to rise above this. That is why Usana in Katha Upanishad, कि what he said कि न samparayah pratibhati balam. A childlike fellow is not liking the Brahma Tattva. He will not. Like a child will not be interested in the higher studies, he will be only interested in the marvels. Balam na pratibha. Therefore, he'll have to grow out of that balya avastha to be able to appreciate Samparaya. So through Viveka, through Vairagya, through seeing the kicks, how many we got from it, slowly we start devaluing the world. The moment we devalue, then the entire disturbances of the in the mind, which are because of the value of the world, raga and dvesha, that goes away. Such person alone can be interested in Brahma Tattva, can try for it and reach out also. दैट्स हाउ यू सी इफ यू आर आस्क्ड कि अरे पहले की तरह इतने सिनेमा क्यों नहीं देख रहे हो, इतना मस्ती क्यों नहीं कर रहे हो, इतने किट्टी किट्टी क्लब्स में क्यों नहीं जा रहे हो, लाइक पहले की तरह व्हाई आर यू नॉट प्लेइंग द मार्बल्स इफ यू हैव द यूथ यू विल ओनली स्माइल. So too you will smile at them. Our time is eaten by Swamiji. He is not giving us time. सुबह शाम बुला के बिठाते हैं. You see, you have grown out. The world is remaining same. That maturity will pull us out. Then all these contemplations make us subtler and subtler in first intellectual understanding. On that understanding, when we sit and do the real dhyana deeper, then we reach to that self. No, it cannot be told in any other way than this because it is not like any other experience that comparatively it can be told. So, if there is the Gneyatva in the Jnanam, Satyata is disturbed. If the Jnatrutva is there in the Jnanam, then the Anantata is disturbed. We don't want that Jnanam of Brahma which is without Satyata, without Anantata. We want that Jnapti which is Satya and Ananta. For that, it should be Jnatru Gneya Jnana Triputi Vritti Rahita Shuddha Jnapti only. And that alone is everywhere. It alone is illuminating whatever everywhere is seen. But it is himself not going through any modification. Now, Sanmatratvam cha anupavannam jnana kartrutvadi visheshavatve sati. See, even the pure conscious self ka Sanmatratva, the Sat Surupta jo hai, even that also gets disturbed if jnana kartrutva adi visheshavatve sati. ज्ञान कर्तृत्व में कौन कौन है, ज्ञान कर्म के करता है, तिंद ज्ञेय वस्तु है, फिर उसका त्रिवृत्ति द ज्ञानम है. इफ दिस इज देयर देन द सन्मात्रत्व ऑफ द ब्रह्म वस्तु इज रिजेक्टेड. व्हाट इज द सन्मात्रत्व सडनली यू ब्रॉट? भगवान शंकरा इज कोटिंग अनदर उपनिषद. व्हाट इज दैट उपनिषद सेज इन चांदोग्य? कि चांदोग्य कहते हैं तत्सत्यम. Tat satyam is a sentence. Okay. Sanmatratvam cha satyatvam. Tat satyam. In all those 9 or 10 teachings, what Guru teaches to the Shvetaketu is Tat satyam sa atma tad sa vigneyaha. Sanmatratvam means being existence or existence itself is questioned. Because anything which is modifiable is not Sat, it is Asat. It is Asat, it is non-existing. That is why the ornamentation is changeable, modifiable. That is why it is Asat, though it appears. But the gold never disappears, it's always there, therefore it is called Sat. So, अगर आप ज्ञान को ज्ञान कर्तृत्व का द्वारा ज्ञेय और ज्ञाता और ज्ञान के रूप में डिवाइड करोगे तो फिर सन्मात्रत्व जो ब्रह्म का आत्मा का लक्षण इन द अदर उपनिषद सेड दैट इज डिस्टर्ब. Therefore, we don't want that असद आत्मा. हमको तो सत चाहिए. वी आर ऑल सद ब्रह्मा डिस्कस करने वाले. We want Sat Brahma, which is the greatest Param, not the Asatu Utkrishta Hina. So, Sanmatratvam Satyatvam Tat Satyatyam iti Shruti Antarato. Now, the conclusion is what? Tasmat, therefore, Satya Ananta Shabdabhyam Saha. Satya Shabda and Ananta Shabda, along with these two, Visheshanavattvena, is told this Jnana for the Brahma. Therefore, Jnana Shabdasya Prayogat, Bhava Sadhana eva Jnana Shabdaha. Only Jnanam Brahma is not told. Satyam and Anantam also are told. Therefore, the Jnana Brahma has to be understood in such a way that it doesn't miss the Satya and Ananta Shabda also of the Brahma. If that has to be achieved, this jnana must be kevala bhava sadhana. It should be the pure consciousness without being conscious of something. It should be pure consciousness, not becoming the knower consciousness, the known consciousness, and knowing consciousness. Consciousness conditioned by aham vritti is jnata. Conditioned by idam vritti is gneyam. Conditioned by connection between them is called jnana. Pure consciousness. We are not talking about that conditional consciousness. We are talking about the pure consciousness, which is neither aham vritti yukta, nor idam vritti yukta, nor the jnana vritti yukta. Therefore, not a aham idam jnana rupi vyavahara sambhava in that. So, satya ananta abhyam saha विशेषणत्वास् ज्ञान शब्दस्य प्रयोगात् भाव साधना ज्ञान शब्दः. Therefore, what is achieved through the Jnanam Brahma finally? Jnanam Brahma is we started. Then the possibility of the Triputi in the Jnanam, Vrittyatmakta in the Jnanam is rejected. Now, actually, why the Jnana Shabda is used is said Jnanam Brahma iti Kartrutvadi Karaka Nivrutyartham. See why the Jnana Shabda used? That Kartrutvadi Karakatva, which came when the Satya was used, that to reject that, the Jnanam came. Secondly, because of the example like mud and the pot, or the Jagat and being the Jagat seen being the Jadam, Brahma being the Karana of the Jagatu, therefore Jada Jagat's Karana Brahma must also be Jada. This type of misunderstanding, to avoid that, the Jnanam Brahma is used. It's not a Jada. Therefore, Jnanam Brahma iti Kartrutvadi Karaka Nivrutyartham. Second is Mrudadivat Achitrupata Nivrutyartham cha prayujyate. कारकत्व ज्ञान कारकत्व का रिजेक्शन हो गया. Then mrudadivat, like the mud etc., the jadata also is removed. Therefore, the Jnana Brahma is Shuddha Chaitanya Brahma, and he has not become the Jnata Jnana Jnaya Triputi. And that Brahman alone is Avikari, Satya. Clear? And these again are appearing to be abstract only, but they are realities. And the things which appear to be real other than the Brahma, how much ever, on the deep inquiry, they found not only to be imaginary, but they are found even to be never ever existent only. Na? It is so obvious with all examples. When you look or learn to look from the mud standpoint purely, where is the pot at all? Be